How do I do that?
Hey.
Hey.
I finally got it. My computer with the microphone was not connecting. So I was writing you like, hey, I'm trying to call in. Is this YouTube Live? Is that what you're?
I don't know. I clicked on, I was going to Hangout and then it popped up on this. It says broadcasting.
It's broadcasting?
Broadcasting. I have no idea how that worked.
I guess we'll find out, right? Okay, my dear. All right. Hey, I'm really sorry about that confusion. But I'm glad that you were able to meet today. Did you get some good time with your family after that?
I ended up taking a toenail off my husband, so he came up here. We just did it. So he was having some issues, so we got it taken care of, so it was good.
Okay, okay. So let's take a look at your, let me pull up your stuff here. So I'm going to share with you. Can I share if I do this? Hold on.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there it is. This looks like Hangouts to me, but it's okay. If it says broadcasting, it should be YouTube. Like usually it doesn't say broadcasting unless it's YouTube. So we'll see. I'm looking for your attachments here so I can pull it up again. Okay, good. So one thing to notice is that in the instructions, it says to name the position of like Dr. James Beatty. So not just if they're sponsor mentor, but what is his position? Is he clinical director? Is he physician, supervising physician? Like what is his title at the organization? You see how you did that for everyone else? Office manager, nurse, receptionist. What's his title at your organization?
He's my preceptor, sponsor, mentor, preceptor.
Right, but what's his title for the organization? What if you didn't exist? What would his title be?
He is just hired on to precept me. He's just Dr. James Beatty. He doesn't also practice.
He doesn't see patients?
Yes, he sees patients.
Mm-hmm.
So I put doctor. I mean, you mean like physician, just put physician there?
Yeah, just like, is he a lead physician or anything like that?
They're only physician. Yeah.
Okay, I would just put physician and then sponsor mentor, okay?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, your problem, girl, you nailed it. It looks awesome. Can you feel how much more solid that seems than what your previous?
I did like it better, and I don't know how I got. I mean, I know how I got the APA wrong, but I looked up on the website and it was wrong. So I went back and I put everything through the APA format, the program. And so the only one I'm having trouble with is the national guideline, but that's how it told me on the national guideline. There's like 4 references for it.
Mm-hmm. So under rationale, your NICE guideline is still incorrect. Do you see how all you say there is NICE guideline, period?
Well, that's what it showed when I went to the NICE guideline, there's 3 different references on their website for how you do it for what year. And the latest year was this one. And that's why I referenced it like it.
What I'm saying is like, here, do you see what I'm sharing? Am I sharing?
Yeah, okay. Where it says national guideline and then the parentheses NG5.
Yeah, but the way you wrote it, it looks like a sentence. If this is a citation, you need to have this in parentheses and this in bars, just like you did for the CDC here.
Okay, I'll do that. It's just that's the way I get confused when I'm looking at the website and it tells me to do it one way. And I know.
Just look at APA guidelines. Do not look at anything else.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you would do it just like you did for the CDC. You see how you did nice guideline, and then you could put brackets NG5 and then put the year that it was done. Okay. All right, good. Baseline data from 20 charts at Premier showed inconsistency and potential system failure. 50% of the team voiced, okay, good. Yeah. And then I just want to see, where's the business? Good. Okay. All right, good. That looks good. Good job. All right. And then I think we talked about just phrasing it. Good. Love it. Go, girl. See, you're doing it. And by the way, I noticed that in your email you said, oh, you think I'm inarticulate. What I was trying to say was that I want you to better articulate your project. It's not that you're inarticulate. I actually think you're very smart. It's just when it comes to your project, it gets confusing sometimes when you're talking about it. And I have a feeling it's just because you get nervous when you start talking about it. Do you think that might be what it is?
It is, and when we meet, I'm usually in the middle of patients, and I don't have this on my mind when I'm talking about this and getting it all ready. I think I'm focused on this, but when I'm focused on patients, I have 50 things going on, and I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not going through the process like I am when I'm just doing the project on my own. And I hear myself on the videos. I sound inarticulate, like I don't know what I'm talking about, but
right, and it's definitely, none of us think that you are inarticulate. It's just when it comes to your project. Yeah.
And I talk fast and I interrupt and I see those things. It's just, I know it in my head. I just can't get it out there.
No problem. So I just wanted to clarify that for you, that we know you're very smart and that we're just trying to figure out how to help you prove that through this project. Okay. So the overall healthcare outcomes will improve. Okay. Yeah. So this one, love it. I would put that last sentence right after the first sentence under expectations, because that's a big statement, right? It's awesome. You want people to know that that's what you expect from this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, then how will we know changes and improvement? Okay, so increased team participation in the meeting. So this is the one again that I don't understand, because how are you measuring team participation?
I did it. If you go down into the measurement thing, I redid here, let me share with her.
Hold on.
Okay. If you go down.
Implementation of huddles, number of team members that attend meeting over total number of team members. Not total number of team. Does that make sense? You need to be more clear. Keep using the same terminology.
Yes, I should.
Team members versus total number of team members.
Okay.
So here's the thing: increasing 80% by 10%, it's not the same as going from 80 to 90. It's just a mathematical statement. So if I had 5, like let's make it easy. If I have 10 people coming to a meeting, increasing it by 10% means one extra person comes to that meeting. So if you have an 80% attendance rate, increasing it by 10% is 10% of 80%, which is only like, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you want to, so you say, I want to increase it from 80% to 90%, or like how many extra people would that be to increase it by 90%?
To increase it by 90%?
No, to increase it from 80 to 90. How many more people do you need to do that?
Well, I think there was just 10 on there that are participating in my project. About 10.
So you just want one extra person to show up?
Yeah. I mean, if I can get at least, usually everybody will show up, but there's always somebody lagging.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what is your outcome? Hold on. So this is more of a process measure, okay? In terms of how you were describing it to me. So I think there was just some confusion maybe about the feedback and the things here. So ramp A, this is outcome, right?
Okay.
To your outcome measure is mean score of post-meeting survey conducted each PDSA cycle.
I need to put that up there.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You need a baseline here. You can't just put 0. Okay? You need to get a baseline before your meeting starts so that you know like what, or like at your very first meeting, and that's going to be your baseline. And because like, what if like your score should be like, this shouldn't be necessary. Like it could be a mean score, but you have 0%. Like that's not a score. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Like 50% is not a quote unquote score without a baseline. So I guess like what you can do is like, what is your scoring method? Is it a like, is it a, how many points is it worth?
Yeah, it's a Likert scale. It's I've got it. Let me see where I put it. I pulled everything up at that because I wouldn't post. You should note. Post meeting survey. It's 5 questions. It's numbered. It'll be worth, it's 1 through 5. There's 5 questions. I'm satisfied with the meeting's overall value in helping to improve inter-office communication. I feel satisfied that meeting was well worth the investment. I feel the meeting was motivating to me personally. I felt a sense of collaboration during the meeting. I felt satisfied with the overall meeting experience.
Mm-hmm.
That was to do the communication, collaboration, and participation.
What was the main thing in your chart audit or with your surveys with your staff that they said, because they wanted to improve what? What was your
and collaboration?
Right. And so you're assessing for that in this outcome, right?
Yes.
Great. So it's the mean score of team satisfaction with team huddles or something like that, right? Like make it obvious what this is measuring in terms of what you call it. Okay, hold on.
Would it not be the mean score of the meeting of the survey?
Name the survey something obvious. Don't just call it post-meeting survey. Like what is it measuring? Post-meeting satisfaction survey, post-meeting something survey. Don't just say survey. You see what I mean?
Okay. Collaboration. Okay.
So your outcome is the team satisfaction survey score, and then you need a baseline, right?
Yes. I need to do a survey.
Yeah, say currently, where are you guys at? Because like you have that, right? Don't you have it? Didn't they say it sucked or something? Like, was that a Likert scale or how did you measure that originally?
Yeah, it was just yeah, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Strongly agree, strongly disagree, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically.
So you need your baseline score and then you base your goal on that. So if the baseline is whatever, if your baseline is score is
it was 40%, like for collaboration, it was 40%.
Okay, great. So if the baseline is 40, so you're going to do a composite score. If composite baseline score is 40%, goal can be 80%, etc. Right? Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so let's go to B up here. So do you see here how you have actually, that's a process measure, okay?
Yes.
All right, so another outcome measure, so these are all, you've got them swapped up or something. And again, what do you think the outcome measure is? What do you think that means when we say what's your outcome measure?
The outcome of the intervention, of the process.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what? That's what it is.
You still have, if you look at the outcomes, like your outcome measures are all process measures here. Do you see this?
Okay. So basically what I did in the thing, I need to put up here. I just need to word it up here correctly.
Yeah, because I'm not sure why that's even wrong, because you have the outcomes correct in the chart.
I just need to take that out and leave the chart in there then, don't I?
No, you have to write it out and include the chart.
Okay. So I just need
That's
to.
very clearly in the instructions. You need to put that under outcome, and then you need to put the process measures under process for each ramp and include this chart.
Okay. Okay. So just put those in that spot and delete all that. And go my chart and put it up there.
Mm-hmm. And then, so let's just look at your chart. Okay. So your B ramp, the outcome is mean score of post-clinic visit surveys. And what are you measuring with that? Their satisfaction or what's being measured with patients?
Yes, I'm doing, I redid the patient engagement tool, the little survey to evaluate it. I redid it as a patient survey. I did one question on the fly or on the poster, one on the pamphlet, and 3 on medication use, understanding.
What's the composite score going to be called?
It will, I'm going to have to change it, I guess, because what, let me see. Getting long. I mean, so I did the 5 questions, and so 3 of them, if 3 are greater or less than 3, then they need to be referred to patient CCM, critical care management.
What are you measuring with your patient surveys?
Medication understanding.
Great. Mean score of medication understanding surveys. Okay? Do you see what I mean? You want it to be clear what you're measuring. So mean score of post-visit medication understanding survey. Okay?
Okay.
So that I know what that means and that you know what you're measuring. C, outcome, total number of patients seen. That's a process. Positive. That's screen positive over total. Good. And then D, number of patients receiving follow-up with over total number of patients referred for treatment. Right. Okay. Mean patient wait time. And wait is spelled incorrectly.
It is? Okay. Right. It sure is.
So process, number of team members that attended meeting, good. So I would try to get more creative about process. Since right now you just want to increase attendance by 1 person, okay? Because that is fine, but maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's all we can do right now. but just try to think of some other stuff. We'll stick with that for now, okay? Because you have pretty good attendance anyway. Like maybe it's number of people that participate in role play or something like that. Just think about that for the future, okay?
There's just so many processes in this that it's hard to keep up with and following them through. There's this process, then this process, and there's
then simplify it. Then try to simplify it so that it's not so hard, okay? And then B, the process, number of patient engagement tools completed over total number of patients seen in clinic. That you need to write the line so that it's clear it's numerator, denominator, okay? See how I can't see that?
On B?
On all of these. The only time you ever put in the line was here. Here, like there's no line here. Like this to someone reading it is like, oh, why are these two separate lines? You need to show that it's a numerator and denominator. Either put a line across here or dividing line. Does that make sense?
Yeah. In mine, it is there. There's a line on mine. I don't know why it's not on there.
Oh, weird. Okay, that's fine. And then, so good. C is good. And then D is good. All right, then the changes. Who's the member for that? Staff. Carriage. All right, good. Hold on a second. I'm going down here. Where's your, oh yeah. So your operationalization of your aim, where is that?
Right here.
Okay, number of reconciled meds in EHR over number of medication discrepancies. Oh, here. Okay, number of medication discrepancies found when comparing medication screening tool. I don't understand the way that's phrased.
A number of medication discrepancies found when comparing the medication screening tool and lapsed medicines found in the EHR during chart audits compared to reconciled medicines.
Okay, because that's not what it says here. Do you see how that's not what it says here?
Number of, let me see. Number of medication discrepancies found when comparing medication screening tool and lapsed medicines during EHR. I guess I need to put it as number of it was hard to figure out how I was going to write it. I wrote it 2 or 3 different times. Number of medication discrepancies found from or found in medication screen or on medication screening tool and lapsed meds during EHR audit. Does that sound better?
Say it one more time.
Number of medication discrepancies found I gotta take when. Let me do it again. Number of medication discrepancies found on medication screening tool and lapsed meds during EHR audit. Or maybe I need to put a total number of medication discrepancies found on medication screening tool and number of lapsed meds during EHR.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I have to step out of the clinic real quick. Hold on. Do you mind locking the door for me behind me?
Sure.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, are you there?
Yes.
Sorry. I just have to get home to relieve the childcare. So I think it is a tricky one because it's sort of a composite. I mean, what is our ultimate goal for the aim? The ultimate goal is that you are decreasing the number of lapsed medications, right?
Yeah.
I mean, decreasing the number of medication discrepancies. But really, it's like percent of charts with incorrect medication reconciliation, right?
Yes.
So it's sort of like the numerator is the number of charts with medication reconciliation errors over number of total charts reviewed, right?
Okay. Well, I thought. Okay.
And the process is, okay, are you reviewing the charts?
Yes.
And then the outcome is how many of those charts have met rec errors, and your percentage is currently, you have 70%, right?
Yeah.
70% is your baseline.
Yes.
And what's your goal? Like maybe you want to decrease the number of errors. So decrease charts with MedRec errors by 50%, right?
Yes, and then so it gave for goal from baseline is 30 to a goal of 60.
Exactly. So you do it just differently. So 30% currently are correct, and you're going to increase it to 60. So yeah, so it's the number of not so much reconciled medications, because then you're going by like, was this specific medication reconciled more, but versus how many charts are correct and how many are incorrect. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because otherwise, girl, you're going to be adding every single medication that's there.
Well, that's what I have to do.
Like charting every single medication. It's crazy. I used to look and say, this chart didn't make it. This chart didn't make it. This chart didn't make it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which is really what your baseline data is. You weren't counting every single individual medication. You were just showing how many charts had lapsed meds, right?
Right.
Yeah, so do you see how right now the way it's worded makes it seem like you're going to look at every single medication and put a check mark by it, and then you're going to add those all up individually? That's not what it is. It's how many charts are correct and how many charts are incorrect. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let's continue here. I think the key stakeholders look good. What are you going to do to engage? How will you learn more? So what else, like, did anything of my feedback confuse you? Because the measures are the most important thing I wanted to talk about today.
No, I changed all the feedback, corrected my APA. It was just trying to get these measures up to snuff.
Uh-huh. Brenda, you did awesome. I feel like you took the feedback, you really implemented it.
Are you there?
It looked like not to stop working on this over the break. I would definitely take like a week off to just let your brain chill out for a minute, but get back in the game the week before next term starts, and you know, make sure that you understand. Like, what I would do is practice telling and explaining your project to your friends and family, so that you can practice understanding how it's going to work. Like, what I would do is record yourself, your project, to someone. Say, okay, so what's going to happen is patient A is going to show up, and this is what's going to happen next. And walk through the entire process on video with you explaining it, so that you can see where it might get confusing or where it doesn't make sense, where you're like, oh my God, this is going to be way more work than I thought. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Like, was there anything else that the feedback you were like, what the hell is Anna talking about with this?
No, I was fine with everything. I just wanted to make sure my measures. I think the paper part of it in the APA, I think I've got that better now. And I just have to do, but I don't know what the next step is. It says I'm supposed to submit to the IHI, but it's not correct. So I've got to get it done. And then what do but I don't know where to go from here with all of that.
We'll make all the changes that we just discussed today. So correct the outcome and process things you've listed there and have them reflect your chart, okay?
Okay.
Then update your aim. If you send it to me before the end of this week, I'll tell you if it's ready to be submitted to IHI. Do you know how to submit it to IHI?
No. Yeah, there's instructions in there.
Yeah, so follow the instructions to submit it to IHI. I think it's one of their courses. It's either like 301 or 103 or something like that. And you can always email IHI and say, how do I submit my charter for review? And they're really good at getting back to people, okay?
Okay.
So get this back to me before the end of the week with the revisions we talked about today. CC Dr. Butler as well. And then we will get this off to IHI for you, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Good job, Brenda.
Thank you.
All right. You take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.